Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's talk about some science and some organization and what's going on, most importantly, for Wednesday and Thursday this week. First and foremost, when you open up your science page, you're going to see something different. Okay? There is a weekly announcement. I just found out how to do this, so I'm going to make sure I put everything that's pertinent to you guys this week. Pertinent means important, things that are due, right? So if you want to know, gosh, what does Mr. Underwood want out of me this week? Well, there's three big things, okay? So this is for this week, September, that's Monday, the 28th through Friday, October 2nd. So the first thing is we have the bounty experiment. It needs to be shared with me by Friday. Most of you guys will have that to me in class Wednesday or Thursday, but if you need a little extra time to do it outside of school and you don't get everything done in class on Wednesday and Thursday, then it should be shared with me by Friday night, and I'll still accept that. Okay, but like I said, most of you are getting it to me by Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, but at the latest, it's Friday. You got your backyard science on monarchs. That's week 3. All right, week 1 and 2 are done. Week 3 is open, and that will remain open. I want it this Friday, but I will have it open throughout the weekend if you forget. But I really, really want it done Friday. I give you time to do it on your off days, so I expect you to use that time. So for example, if you're a blue kid, you guys get Tuesday and Thursday to do that, okay? And the rest of school Friday. So I want that done by Friday. And then also you have a unit test on Friday. So that when Friday rolls around and you get up in the morning, open up my Friday folder, you're gonna see the test in there. I'll also have a review session at 9 o'clock on Friday, and you have your first period meeting, of course. And if you're in my first period class and you're checking this, I'll also have a number 4 right there that has the link for your Zoom meeting at 11. If you're in any other class, like all of my other classes besides first period, then you'll see it just like this. All right, so get used to having this be your mental checklist at the beginning and the end of the week. So when you sit down on Friday, you say, did I get 1 done? Did I get 2? Did I get 3? Or however the list is. And then you'll feel comfortable. Check science off your list. You got everything the way you want it. All right, let's take a look specifically at Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, the 30th and the 1st of October. All right, so if you're watching me, you are here. Good job. Okay, the first thing you're gonna see here is, this is just a quick little announcement to you to say, we are finishing up day 2 of your paper towel experiment. It's still in your Monday, Tuesday folder, okay, that doc, all right? But just remember that that needs to be done. The actual experiment needs to be done. If you're in class with me and you're a blue and you're a gold, you don't need to worry about that at all. It's more for kids that are at home. Just to remember that that doc, which is in your Monday, Tuesday folder, needs to be complete and it needs to be shared with me so I can see how your experiment went. And we'll talk more about your experiment here in a moment. All right, so what you're doing at home. You have a Edpuzzle to do right here. It's on COVID-19. So we've been talking a lot about data, right? Observing data, analyzing data. This Edpuzzle is going to get into why we make decisions based on data. They're called data-made decisions, right? Or data-influenced decisions. Why we have our back-to-school plan the way it is. Why we only let a certain number of people into restaurant. How and why we make the decisions we do when we're managing our lives through this pandemic. We're gonna look at huge amounts of data. We're gonna look at some graphs in there. All right, so that Edpuzzle is on all of that. Make sure that's done on your day off. And then also, you have one short discussion here on controls and variables. Just gives you more practice on that and the scientific method, because remember, we got that test coming up on Friday. All right, so let's break it down by who you are, what days you're coming to school. Okay, so first, as usual, blue group. Blue group, I'm gonna see you on Wednesday. We are going to get back into our doc and we are going to do our experiment, right? Can't wait to see all of these experiments in motion. You already got all of your experiment written, now it's just time to do it. So that's all that means, blue group. We'll do all of that. Okay, so blue group, when you're at home on Thursday, this is what you're doing. Okay, so blue group on Thursday, you're doing exploring data with COVID, and you're also doing the controls and the practice discussion. And of course, make sure that your backyard science week 3 is done. All right, gold group, flip flop. All right, gold group, So I'm not going to see you until Thursday, okay? So you got to wait until Thursday to do this. Don't worry about that. All right, so you are going to be doing the ed puzzle on Wednesday, and you are going to be doing the controls and variables practice discussion on Wednesday, as well as making sure that your backyard science is done. So blue and gold kids, I will see you guys on Wednesday and Thursday, and all of this will be done together. You guys, I will let you go, okay? So we'll see you then. Now, if you are a remote, okay, so you've been working on these experiments at home, okay? So I wanted to just show you a couple of quick demos as to what kids are doing in class, because you really can't look over your shoulder and say, oh, I think I'm on the right track or I'm off the track or whatever, okay? So I'm gonna go back to Tuesday and Monday, Tuesday, and I'm gonna open up the doc that you guys are working with. Of course, you can get ideas from any of these bounty experiments here. Now, when I'm looking over all the kids in class, okay, 1, 2, and 3 are all going to be about the same, right? So what are you testing? I'm testing what paper towel is more effective, what's more absorptive, which one is stronger, whatever you decide to do. What's your hypothesis? So that's an if-then statement. If I pour this amount of water in, then Bounty will absorb better than the other brand that you decided to test it against. And then background knowledge on this is, you've been living with these types of brands of paper towel all your life, right? We know what this does, and you have experience with this. You can talk about your experience with this and how you feel about it, and then you could also do the same with whatever brand you have at home. Maybe it's Bounty, maybe it's not, but it's probably something like this and probably not this. All right, then the big thing of the experiment is planning your experiment. You got to be specific. You got to tell me what you're planning on doing. And if you need more than 6 steps, then please go ahead and go beyond 6. I'm going to turn the camera over here and face the equipment. It might be similar to the equipment that you're using at home, but your equipment at home might be completely different, and that's cool. So let me just turn the camera towards here real quick. Stay with me. Okay, so hopefully you can see me. Let me double check. Okay, you guys. So when you're doing this experiment at home, I'll show you a little bit about what the kids have been doing at school. And it's probably pretty similar to what you got. And if yours is different, then just go with it. Have confidence, collect some data on it, give me some numbers, all right? All right, so some kids are doing this. They're pouring water into each one of these cups because they're the same size, and that's important. We call it a constant. But you have to tell me in your steps how much you're pouring in, okay? That's important. So they pour in maybe 100 milliliters in here or 100 milliliters in here. You might be using your mom's measuring cup or dad's measuring cup. So you might say, I'm gonna pour 1 cup, right? Or a half a cup, because that's what you're measuring with. Totally cool. Just gotta be specific with it. All right, so I'm gonna pour a cup in here, I'm gonna pour a cup in here. And then they are taking equal amounts, so you'd have to be really specific on that too. Taking equal amounts and putting it into the cups like this. And then they're letting it sit in the cups for 1 minute. Okay, so you'd have to say 1 minute. And then they're pouring it out into a container that they can measure again and just see how much came out. Now you gotta do that 3 times. Because on day 2, when you see the data table, there's 3 pieces of data for each piece of paper towel that you're gonna do. Remember, multiple trials is always better. All right, so that's just one version of it. Some kids are doing this. They are hanging the paper towel from something. Like we have these in the class, right? So they're kind of folding it up like this, and they put it in a little apparatus like this, right? And they put it in a predetermined amount of water, like 50 milliliters. And they might be measuring how much the water goes up in 1 minute. And then they take a ruler and they measure, and they're taking a length measurement. So that's another variation. A few kids are using the dropper, and they're putting the paper towel down on a flat surface, and they're putting, with a magic marker, they're putting a dot on it. and then they draw a circle that's 1 or 2 inches out from the dot, and then they drop the drops on it, and they're seeing how much drops it takes to reach the circle, because different paper towels will wick or will absorb the water quicker within the material. So less would be a better absorbing paper towel. Okay, and they do that on both, and they do that 3 times. Some groups are doing that wipe experiment where they pour like 30 milliliters of water into a puddle on their desk. And then they are taking like their bin like this, and then they wipe it the same way with the Brown or the Bounty, like they may fold it once, that would have to be in your directions, and they wipe it at the same speed in, and they collect the water, and then they found a way to pour it in and measure that. So anything that you want to do, be creative, okay? But make sure that when you write that procedure, that it's very step-by-step. How much water did you use? How did you measure? Remember, somebody's gonna have to recreate this. And then on your day 2, when you do submit it, you'll notice on day 2, right here, if you already hadn't got to it, put your data in, put your numbers in here, and then there's a few follow-up questions right here. And then submit it to me, okay? If you got questions, see me at 2:30. That Zoom link is always there if you want to run anything by me. Otherwise, good luck with it. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. See ya.